Welcome everybody just now getting into crypto because you were not here in the bear market. Welcome to 60K. We made it. We're about to break all-time highs. It appears, the herd has come. People are getting back into the markets, and it's exciting times because altcoins are about to rip. If you haven't been in during the bear market, you haven't been accumulating the lows, there are still plays to find. You just got to be very specific with what you're choosing. Probably that lower cap stuff that hasn't ran up yet. You just got to be cautious. I got a tier list video for some altcoins if you want to go check that out. Some low cap plays. I think some of those are good picks right now. Some stuff has had pretty big pullbacks, making like large double bottoms on something like Hello, Pip, Radiant, but these are sketchier coins, so obviously there's a lot of risk to be buying now. But let's get into the Bitcoin price because all eyes are on Bitcoin. I don't really want to talk about altcoins today. Probably try to do that tomorrow. Maybe actually try to find some of those good plays for you guys. Some of the stuff from Wyckoff are like Polkadot and EGLD. Sometime soon, I think those Wyckoff plays are gonna rip. Anyways, let's get into the Bitcoin price. This thing shot up faster than even I was expecting. If you watched the last video, you knew that I said this is about to go vertical. We're about to fly through this level, retest, go, retest, and I just wanted to see it go parabolic. It is playing out exactly like I thought it would, kind of. It's happening faster though. It's even more parabolic than I was hoping for. Now we are finding some resistance up here at the 886. 886 is an interesting fib level. It's essentially where you have capitulations on shorts in the market, right? No one is trying to short once you get up to the 886. So the fact that we did get resistance around this level shows me this is smart money. I do know order flow looked good for a short up in this area. You can see it mirrored an 886 even on the shorter term time frame, right? If you were just to pull a fib down like this, you can see 886 here, right? So Pierce 886, right? This is the 886 right here. And then shorter term time frame, we come up and we tap the 886. So it's mirroring what you kind of did on a very large scale time frame on a shorter term time frame. So I just thought that was something that was kind of interesting. I don't know if it means too much. I don't know if it goes that deep, but that is happening. Is the shorter term time frame going to reflect what happens on the longer term time frame? Does this mean that Bitcoin is going to go all the way back down and do a full correction? Probably not. The reason I don't think so, however, is because you're so close to all-time highs. Like, why not just break them at this point? I think it was a good short, right? If you were able to get in on the order flow you saw, or you just did like, golden pocket to 786, could be a good short. You could probably hold this for a little bit because what I expect to happen here is we get a scare on the market. The fact that all of retail just piled in right here tells me they're not going to want to make it super easy for them, and they're going to want to scare them, at least in Bitcoin. I do expect the altcoin market to actually hold up better during this little quick Bitcoin capitulation. And I think money is going to be rotating out of Bitcoin into alts. And the next time Bitcoin has a run, that is when altcoin season will start. I think we're very, very close to the final and biggest altcoin season. So, if you've missed out this entire time, there are still gains to be made. You could easily probably make a 10x in the market. Definitely with something like Quant or XRP, those tokens that haven't really had their time to shine yet. They're going to get them soon. It does look like Bitcoin on the shorter term time frame is wanting to hold this volume level. As you can see, this is a big volume level from the last bull market, right? It is the value area high of this range here. And we're holding that pretty good. Going based off fractals, I guess I'll go back to this. Essentially where we are in the market is we just rallied out of this range and we are potentially here or here. We're one of these two places, right? So if that's the case, we would look for big capitulations or a kind of 1, 2, 3 ABC wave structure before continuing up. I think we're more likely in this area here, but at the same time, I don't think this is going to follow exactly the same. I think this is where we kind of do deviate the fractal. This whole area is going to be compressed this cycle, and I think we're going to see something a little bit different, potentially. You know, I'm not trying to be Nostradamus over here. I'm just going to say that there is going to be some sort of pullback in this area as long as we don't break the daily EMA, right? Then it's okay. Are we going to test the daily EMA? Potentially, probably, before the last rally up, right? So test daily EMA, make bearish divergence, test it one more time, add to that bearish divergence, and we can, if you don't know what a bearish divergence is, essentially it's just like this: high, 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 lower highs, higher highs, something like that. And then eventually this daily EMA gets tested enough times to where it breaks, and as soon as you break that, maybe you get a fake out like we had here, and then full capitulation. So that's what I'm gonna be looking out for. It's just how good we're holding the daily EMA. The more times we test that daily EMA, the closer you are to the top. So what would that look like? Well, as you can see, our daily EMA is pretty low. We are very overextended from it. If this were to test it, I would not expect it to just come straight down here like that. No, absolutely not. I would expect some sort of sideways movement here, and maybe this is where we get more of the altcoins to rally. So probably test that, come back, then we get that final capitulation to test the daily EMA at that point, and that's where we could see our final draw up to breaching all-time highs. And then at that point, we would probably test it again, go for something like that, and that would be your highs, right? Something like this. So that's what I'm just watching out for. I think it's going to happen some sort of way like that. We probably won't even stay in this range that long. I expect to reach all-time highs by the end of March. I expect to be completely topped out before the halving. I will be selling everything before the halving. Anyone who says the halving is bullish is wrong. I can be very confident saying that. Is that financial advice? Well, I'm not a financial advisor, so, you know, I just don't have the license to tell you that. But I'm confident. So yeah, let's see if we can hold this volume level here at around 6,100 on the hourly. Now, if we are to hold this and go for a higher high here, it is possible that scenario I gave you isn't going to happen, and what's actually going to happen is just a parabola into the top. So we don't even test the daily EMA, and by the time we do test it, it's too late. And what I mean by that is we just go full parabolic, and then we swing fail 100K, and by the time we test the daily EMA, it is a false bounce, break under, and that's that. Either way, I think we're going to break all-time highs. I think it's going to be very exciting. I think this is where your big altcoin rally will happen. I think there are still gains to be made in the market. Hold your bags. Do not be scared by whatever Bitcoin does very locally here, because probabilistic wise, right? Take the probabilities into account. Every time you hit the 886, it is much more likely that we go for a break of the all-time highs. That's just how the charts work. Once you get through the 786 with daily closes, right? This didn't like come up here and swing fail it super quick. If we were to come all the way back down and hold under this, yeah, I'd get worried. But the fact that we're just, you know, holding volume levels still, we're not just instantly crashing back down under fib levels, that tells me that this is probably not the top. And the reason I think it's going to go to all-time highs, I'm very convinced of that, is because institutional money right now, if they want to make more money, they're going to bring it to all-time highs. And it's so easy to do that when you're just 10% away. It doesn't make sense for them to just, well, it looks good to short it, so I'm just going to short it back down to zero. No, they're going to want to get even more retail in and have those alts go parabolic. So they're going to distribute their Bitcoin all in this range. And then after it reaches all-time highs, they're going to make bank off all the alts going parabolic, right? And they're going to use leverage to do that. So how do they get leverage into the market, right? How do they get shorts to pile up How to get all this retail that just entered to actually short the market? Well, they capitulate them, right? So everyone just got into the market here. If Bitcoin were to sweep down to the 786, you're going to get a bunch of shorts that pile in here, and that will give them fuel to bring it back up and just liquidate all the shorts, which flip the shorts into longs. It's been the thesis all along. This is one big leverage game with Bitcoin, and they are just ripping shorts a new one. And that's the game that's being played. Max Pain has been up, and I think Max Pain will continue to be up for some time. Once we break all-time highs, that's where Max Pain is going to go towards the downside. So that's been my thesis all along. I'm going to stick with it. On the 15-minute here, we have waves coming up on money flow. We have RSI in a kind of bullish divergence while holding these volume levels. It does look good. I could easily see the case for us just going right now. And if we were to, I think this next little phase is going to be alts. The alt season is upon us. So that's going to be all for this video. It is looking really good here locally, so it'd be exciting to see kind of what happens with this level. And I do know a lot of people are getting back into the markets, so if you're new here, make sure to subscribe. Very small channel, giving some real alpha. Most other channels are not looking out for your best interest, and they don't know what they're talking about. So be cautious out here. Don't be aping in to everything an influencer is saying. That, you know, if people are saying there are 1,000x gems, 100x gems to be buying right now, be cautious, because there ain't many left. And if there are, they're all risky. So don't be putting your life savings into them when Bitcoin's at its peak. Bitcoin is not going to do what it's done every other cycle. Last cycle, the break of all-time highs was 20K. This is not what the chart looks like right now. This price action right here is something we fractaled here. We fractaled the break of all-time highs at the break of the Fibonacci 50% level. So that tells me we are already somewhere in this zone of the cycle, and we only have a little bit left to go, right? Instead of what people will say is 180% left, we actually only have 65% left. And if you take the theory of diminishing returns, which has played out every cycle, then we probably only have 30, maybe 40% left, which would put Bitcoin right at $80,000 to $85,000, which has been my prediction this entire time. That is right within my target for an all-time high. If you think we're going above 100K, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Everything is pointing to $80,000 to $85,000. Obviously, that's a pretty tight margin. Everything is really pointing to $75,000 to $95,000. Somewhere in this range, I'm getting out of all my positions. I am very, very convinced that Bitcoin is going to front run 100K, and we are only going to go somewhere in this region for a top to come in. So I just wanted to give you that for anyone who sticks around to the end of the video. But yeah, that's going to be all for this video. I think it's very exciting times. We're going to see that break of all-time highs sometime in March. March is the big month for crypto. I think that's where the parabolic time, this is where the top comes in. But where the top for Bitcoin comes in is where millionaires are made, right? This is where altcoins go crazy, and it's a lot of fun in the crypto space. Meme coins are going to be flying. It's going to be all fun and games. The mainstream media is going to come pile in and buy our bags. It's going to be awesome, but just always be very cautious and watch your euphoria levels, as I always say. But with that being said, I'll catch you on the next one.